I just do me, but they sound too much. Chosen one, I don't ever get too far. Woo. And my mama said I'm special. If I don't trust you, shoot your metro. Future looking bright, nigga, got that glow. Professor X, nigga, all the gifts I show. My life like a movie shot off the hit show. Me and Bless Hands make a bitch get low. James Willis, DJ CEO. Dave hit record, now we on beast mode. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Hit Show podcast. We got According to Iris back. Antoinette Barkley's on the screen. Darius on the way. We had a great show this week, the promo show. Y'all welcome back According to Iris. We'll give her a
hey, everybody.
We got some good
welcome back.
We got some good subjects tonight. Look, the promo show was supposed to be a promo show, but the conversation was so good. We ended up having a regular podcast. Right? Everybody that's tuning in, we all been pushing this show all week. I appreciate everybody. You, Iris, Antoinette, you guys really been pushing this show. I've been pushing it to a lot of people because we got to talk about this black love, relationships, and the gender wars we have in between the male and females in the black community. We got to talk about it tonight. But before we start, Iris, tell them where they can reach you at. On social media.
Everybody, please come over to According to Iris on Facebook, According to Iris on YouTube, According to Iris on Instagram, and According to Iris on TikTok. All of our platforms are the same. Please come check me out.
All right. And our newest cast member, Antoinette Barkley, please tell them where they can reach you on social media for personal and all your businesses.
Okay, so you can follow my page, Antoinette Barkley. That's my personal page. Then also we have Antoinette B, which is my modeling page on Facebook. Instagram, Miss Barkley 35. Business, Antoinette Soul Food Service and Catering. Facebook, and Antoinette Senior Care LLC on Facebook.
All right. Appreciate that. We got Chef Darius Jackson in the building. Iris, this is the other cast member.
Hello.
Hi, hello. How are you?
On the Hit Show. And he just won out in our hometown, the chili cook-off, just because I wasn't there.
Congratulations.
And I should have brought my No, but he a bad chef, though. Y'all got to check him out on his page, Chef Darius.
Check me out, Chef Darius Soul Foods. I'll be posting daily when the next competition will be. I think we're going to do a barbecue smoke challenge. I think it's next week or so. So I'll be posting up soon.
Yeah, so we about to get into this first topic. Everybody's watching. Y'all know how we do. If you commented on the Hit Show page, if you're going to leave comments, do it on the Hit Show podcast page, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And I'm going to pull up these comments tonight. We're going to get into this first topic. We're going to talk about black love. Okay? Me and Iris be going back and forth on TikTok. So y'all got to follow According to Iris and the Hit Show podcast. We got different content on TikTok. But we got to talk about this black love, okay?
Well, how you mean I go back and forth on TikTok?
No, not in a bad way, but we on each other's stuff because we got a lot of good stuff, and our content is a little bit light when we start getting into the relationship stuff.
Yes, because I love your content.
We love yours. That's why we had to link up, but we got to talk about this 2022 black love because you know what? I think it gets misconstrued and it gets such negative attention when we talk about black relationships. It gets a lot of negative, but we don't talk about the positive, right? We don't talk about all the black people. I'm just talking about the people I see every day in Cleveland, Ohio. Just in Cleveland, the black people that are in relationships and married, most of the ones I know are entrepreneurs. They're not just building businesses, they're building generational wealth. Look at Antoinette. Antoinette has 4 businesses herself. She's creating generational wealth right now for her grandkids. And we don't talk about that enough, right? So the black people that are in relationships and that are married, there's so many of them that create nothing but businesses and generational wealth, right? We don't talk about the good part. We always talk about the negative part, black people not getting along. They don't know how to communicate. And I think that in 2022, I don't believe that anymore. I think we're coming together more than we think. That's just my opinion.
Well, the media controls a narrative. And so because we are all staring at our phones getting messages, the narrative would have us believe that there is no connection. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. A lot of us create our own futures. So therefore we manifest that in our lives when we don't have connection. Right now, we're watching media that's constantly telling us things that are opposite to what we live. For instance, that men are home working all day. I mean, women are sitting at home and their wives are working all day and they desire their wives to be there, and that men don't want successful women, and all of these narratives that we get pushed over and over again, that we know when we look outside our homes, this is just simply not the reality of what life is. So right now, because we're sitting in a space that makes us group think, that plants messages in us, we're going to be in this for a while until people really examine where their information is coming from and if it's true or not.
It's a trend thing. It's following the trend. Whatever they place out in front of us, so we could see, like you said, it's that immediate gratification, or just whatever we see, we want to emulate. Like, they want to put the negativity out there, but it's a lot of positive, like James said, I believe. So we just got to start looking in the real world and get out the digital realm and start paying attention to what our peers and our family and friends got going on more. So
And I think in doing that, we find the reality and the truth of what relationships are. People seem to think that people don't make mistakes, and that there's never going to be an instance where someone might actually commit infidelity or might do something really bad, and what that forgiveness through those things go through. You know, a lot of relationships, that's not condoning when people have a moral failing, but a moral failing or a bad or me not being able to always live up to what I'm supposed to does not mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I can't fix it. But we're in a narrative where everything is so quick and so gone. But people say, oh, they've been together miserable, blah. That's because people tend to hold on to the worst part of a relationship. But in truth, it's very hard. You're gonna find any person who's been with someone who ain't been through something.
Exactly. What you think about that, Antoinette?
I agree.
And you know what? Also, I was talking to Cyan the Madman. He was supposed to be on tonight, but he had a family emergency. And you were right about the media, how they push out the negative stuff, right?
They do.
I think now, since we have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, even though that's not our media, that's still platforms for us to speak positively about things that's going on in our community rather than speak negatively. And I think people use the platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok to talk negatively when we could talk positively about what's going on.
that's true, James. But the other angle of that is people only posting, like what Iris said, you only gonna see what people want to present on social media. So they're gonna only sometimes put the positivity and showing like it's all glitz and glamour. But at the end of the day, that it might not be like that in real life. They may need somebody to reach out and give them some counseling or some advice. But you don't know that because you're only paying attention to what you're seeing in the digital realm. So like just sometimes get out of that and pay attention to go talk to people, see what they got going on. And you can't just always go off with this social media matrix is telling you, because it ain't always true.
And of course, the algorithm loves the mess because humans, that's why stories have to have, you have to have a villain in the story. It's got to be something bad. We love the salacious headline. That's why we all have to kind of bait people. Even then, I find myself doing it on TikTok where I can bait where people might go, is it a little bad? It's going to be something negative before they come in and then have to digest that message. Because I don't believe that men are wrong, women are wrong, Black people this, or all of it is rooted in nuance, and you got to explore those nuances and the individuality of each situation in order to determine what you should say about it. But people don't do that. Mm-hmm.
That's a big point you made with the algorithms, because that's true. The algorithms are going to pick and choose what they want to present to the top of the feed or whatever, and they tend to lean more towards negativity. So like you said, I find myself kind of being a little manipulative, and I'll delve into the messy stuff because I know it's going to bring people in to my page, and then I can post my business and whatnot. It's a crazy game how them algorithms work and how they got us kind of moving off energy we may not necessarily want to move off of, but it is what it is. If you're going to play the game, you got to know how to play it.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because I went on a rant. Me and Darius last year when we was doing the podcast, when we first started the podcast, the first 6 months, we did good. We created a fan base. We talked about a lot of issues as far as politics, business, relationships. And it was so real. They took some of our videos down. This before we had StreamYard. And they blocked us in the algorithms for 6 months. Because we were like just uncut.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't politically correct. I still ain't. I know I ain't. But we just kept it real. And if you're not like doing it in a negative way, like you said with the algorithms, like if you're not on there prostituting yourself, talking negative, posting guns, they don't even put you high up in the algorithms.
They don't want you to call them out. You can't really necessarily talk about the system too much or something that'll hit home with the actual platform or whatever connections they might got going on. Then they kind of will flag it or what are they doing? It's called fact checking. They'll put like a fact checking thing on your post. Like they do a lot of things that don't make sense because people post parodies and jokes or whatever, nudity, whatever, that ain't necessarily true, or it may be some fictional thing, but there ain't no fact checking for that. But when you kind of want to call out the system or something that may be going on politically that don't align with the agenda of the social media app, then it gets fact checked. So it's like, it's obvious that they controlling the narrative to me. It is what it is though, because if we want to use this app, which is a private platform, you got to play the game. They present the rules. Then it is what it is.
And another thing with Iris, the thing we love, especially me, about your show, it reminds me so much of our show because you give a balance. When we start out talking about relationships, we didn't just say men look for this in women. We also told the women, hey, look for the red flags with these sorry ass men out here that just want to lay with you, make babies, don't want to help you. And we got a lot of negative comments for just keeping it real. But on your show, I noticed the same thing. When you talk about black love, you're talking about accountability in the men and women, right? And for us to love each other, black people, men and women, we have to hold each other accountable. And I think that's the worst thing you can say to a black person is accountability.
It's a very interesting dynamic because we always have been made to believe that loving someone is hard. And even I, very recently, am experiencing what it is to truly love someone. See, when we're talking about loving and picking partners, we're talking about picking people from varying lenses, but lenses that are not true to who we are as humans and who we are, what we need in connection. So instead, a woman is looking at a man for his resources instead of his heart.
Gotcha.
So would you rather be loved or would you rather be in the castle, right? You have men picking women through their eyes and not their heart. So would you rather have this woman who is beautiful or this woman who will challenge you to become beyond your wildest dreams? Mm-hmm. We want this thing to be one way, and it's not, because my recipe for love is not necessarily your recipe for love. What you and your partner are supposed to have is not what my partner and I are supposed to share. However, we're under this perception that we watch a movie and that's what everybody's life is going to be. I'm going to love my man to the best of my ability every day. And all I ask is that he love me back that way. Now, we may not get it right every day, but at the end of the day, our intention was for me to take care of him more than he takes care of me, and for him to take care of me more than I take care of him. And as we're growing into this space, being conscious of that.
And you know what? The thing is with that, two people, since we're talking about black love and relationships, right? I see on men and women, a lot of them are so selfish and closed-minded that they're not open to the other person. You know, meaning like a lot of men are so, there's nothing wrong with being masculine because I'm masculine, but a lot of men are so masculine, they never think to maybe, okay, well, maybe I should listen to my woman. Maybe she is right. Maybe I should listen to her point of view. And then the other way with the women, he don't know what he talking about. He just trying to control me. It's not always a man trying to control you. A lot of times a man is trying to protect you, and it's not control. And I think a lot of women get misconstrued with what control and protection is. So I think both of us have to be open-minded to have that relationship that you're speaking about with you and your husband. Like, it's not going to be peaches and cream every day. It's work. But
there's a level of transparency you have to get to.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have to be ready.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to be there.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, most people nowadays, like you said, they go online, they look to see two people online so happy. But guess what? When they ain't online and they ain't doing videos and posting pictures, they probably down each other's throat. What you see on social media is fake most of the time.
It'd be forced.
Them relationships be fake. Yeah, forced.
I think it'd be forced.
Like
the people posting a lot and they just like they got a point to prove. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's happy all the time. You know?
Well, right now, I mean, you're talking about curating an identity online. We curate our identity. We literally create the way we want people to see us through this lens. So if I'm a couple, none of us show our worst moments. Yeah. I mean, one of my most I'm in the process of finishing up my doctoral research, and one of the things that I was crazy was when the pandemic hit, I wrote a post about failing a class, and I've never failed a class before.
Really?
And I failed this class, and I was like, I am tired, I am worn out. And that was the most likes because everyone, and I'm like in the picture, like in tears, and my makeup's not done because I never failed, but I was tired. And that moment of just showing the reality. However, most of us are showing up as our best selves, like we should on social media. But there's a reality that when those cameras cut off and we stop the smiles, that there's a reality we go back to, and our lives are not these frozen moments. It's the things in between.
Gotcha. Understood. Antoinette, let me ask you, right? Because me and you talk about these relationships, especially in the Black community, and me and you got a lot of comments on Facebook and TikTok when we talked about the 50-50, because I want to get into this, Iris, okay? Because since I got you on here, and me and Antoinette was talking about this, we was talking about the benefits, the advantages and disadvantages of the 50-50 relationships. Because a lot of times when we say 50, when a man say 50-50, women get mad because they feel like, oh, I got to come out my pocket. But 50-50 just don't mean finance, right? You can do 50-50 on everything, right? So I feel like in a relationship, like I said, two people have to be open to the other person, and you don't have to, and you have to have a level of unselfishness for a relationship to work. So that's why when I say relationship should be 50-50, it should be both people putting all in. That's how I feel about it. But as soon as I say 50-50, women be like, no, I'm not doing 50-50.
Because what do you mean by that? What is the 50-50?
Everything.
Like financially?
Everything.
Because, a lot
Teamwork.
of people have different beliefs and opinions as far as who provides for the bills and the home and whatnot. So when you say 50-50, it's a lot. You're being vague.
But this is how way I look at it. I look at, if, say I'm with somebody, right? No matter if it's finance, communication, emotional, I'm going to meet you halfway. That's
so can I interject?
Go ahead.
Relationships aren't 50-50. They're 100 and 1,000 and 100 and 1,000. It is a conscious choice that must be at the top of your life every day, or it cannot work. 50 is giving you half of me, and that's not a whole lot to give. That's giving you with reservation. That's giving you with fear. That's not me giving you all of me. So a lot of times when we talk about things like 50-50 and all of that, these are these idealized versions of the way life would be for some people. If you're in a relationship and you don't want to work, and you know without a doubt that you're not going to talk about these things in the event of you doing something wrong to hurt that woman, not if she does you wrong, but if you do something wrong to her, if you don't want to pay full alimony and child support at the exact level of life she had for her, then shut up. Because these men love you, want you to stay home until something happens. Because when they have all the financial power, you are at a disadvantage. Do you understand the safety you have to feel as a woman to allow a man to take care of you? I'm watching girlfriends now. We're all in our 40s, and as we're husbands and wives are breaking up as those children are getting out the house. The reality is, those of us who have careers or whatever can survive that. If he go pack and go out the door, nothing changes around here. I'm good. But I got these other friends I'm watching who are hitting the wall, and now their husbands are trading them in for new models. And guess what? It ain't so pretty because you've never worked. There's no work history. There's nothing. You sat home and he don't want to give you no alimony. He's talking about alimony like it's the worst thing on earth. Can't have it both ways.
It is. Why?
I'd rather if I was a man, I would want my woman to work.
Exactly.
I would let her stop.
Exactly.
I would let her stop in the early. I would have my children close together. There would be a period of money that we stacked before she stopped working. I would let her rear our children and be home with those babies until they start kindergarten from that period. And then, baby, you can go your behind back to work. It's not that serious.
But you know what? This the problem with a lot of those men. Okay, you got men exactly who want to pay everything, not for good reason. They want to pay, and I tell men all the time. And for me, I'm gonna be honest. If I pay everything, I'm gonna control everything.
I was just about to say, like,
because this the thing. Say if something happened to me, right? To me, I'm a diabetic, and I get sick. So say if I'm in a hospital for a month, who's gonna take care of the bills? So that's what I'm saying. When 50-50, you can't just bring your behind in there, lay in there, and think I'm gonna do everything. No, it has to be both people working together. I don't believe in I'm working and you sitting at home, then we get divorced, then you get alimony. No, both of us, let's work together. I'm against the whole alimony thing because the men that don't want their women to work, want them to stay home, and then don't want to pay alimony, I don't understand their mind, because if she's not working and making no money, how is she supposed to survive at least a couple months till she get a job? Now that's just ignorant. But
what is her worth by the time she get a job?
What do you mean?
If that woman gave you all those best years, by the time, but then she's starting from the bottom. That's the problem. She's stopping her life.
Depends on her history. I don't know your work history. I don't know if you're a trust fund baby, if you're here the money. Everybody's situation.
I'm talking about the regular people like us. We're not talking about I don't talk about those. I'm not talking about those high value men, Kevin Samuels and them talking about. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about my brothers that's all around the neighborhood.
If you're a regular man, look for a regular woman that's gonna work just like you, because if you're not, then you setting yourself up for failure. Knowing she gonna get alimony. If you make 50 grand, she getting 25. And if they do that, man, that's on you for being stupid. Me, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just being honest. But I feel like two people should work together on everything, because in today's world, we have more Black entrepreneurs than anything. So I don't understand why two regular people can work two jobs and you can create some type of business and some type of revenue and generational wealth. It's not that hard if people work together and stop being selfish. And we could kill all that alimony and dumb shit, because if me and you both work, we both got businesses. If you go your way and I go mine, you got money and I got money. But that's my opinion. But like you said, a lot of those men don't want their woman to work, but then they don't want to pay alimony. And to me, if your woman don't work and you don't want her to work, you should pay alimony.
You done took away her golden years and opportunity to learn a craft, learn a skill, and she got to bear some responsibility too, because she signed up for that. So I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, you do got to pay some alimony if you decide to up and leave, and she ain't had no chance to build a resume or no skill set for herself to survive out in this world. It's only right.
Thank you for the comment, Sierra Williams. I feel like do whatever works for your individual relationship. Some men want to provide 100% if they're able to, and you're an agreeable, great. But there will be times that financially he has it and times that you have it. As a woman, I personally want my own bag, and I want him to have his and be able to survive with or without him in case it goes left. This is coming from a woman who has fine even after I separated from my husband. Thank you. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because
thank you, sir.
I've always told women, when you see these men that say they'll take care of you, they have nice cars, houses, businesses, there's nothing wrong with wanting a man, but make sure you have your own, just in case he says, I'm done with you. You're not just
right. You got to be smart.
Yeah, you're just not shit out of luck.
You can't trust us. Come on now, like,
not all men with money is bad, but most men with money and resources don't have good character.
It ain't even
about.
about.
You know what? I have a theory about that. I don't think that men who have a lot of money don't have character. What I think is a lot of those men knew that they couldn't have access to the women they desire after they have the money. So therefore, because they know that woman they wouldn't have a chance with her without the money, they know that the woman is there for the money. So because she's there for the money, I don't have no respect for her. And here we go.
That's literally it. And then you feel like you got free reign to do what you want. because I already know the type of energy you was moving off on before I had this money. So after I came into it, I feel like I got freedom. Like I could do what I want to do. It wasn't like I'm switching up on you. This is what it was. You was here with me for this. So, and to your point, James, you were saying what you were saying about the alimony.
Well, with the alimony, this is the way I look at it. If a man makes you not work and you get divorced, you should pay. If you work and he work the whole time, then you shouldn't get it.
Oh yeah, that was a good point. Yeah,
Because some men tell these women you don't have to work, you have to pay no bills, and be honest with you, a lot of women go for that. Think about it. You have to pay no bills, right? So say a man come up to you and you're not married. Hey, you ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm gonna take all your bills. That's the best pickup line you can have. You ain't got to worry about nothing. It is. That's the best thing you can say to a woman. You ain't got to pay no bills or nothing. You ain't have to worry about.
And a lot of women go for that. So if, as a woman, female, if you signing up for that, I mean, you can't really feel no type of ways if y'all do decide to break it off and he does leave. So the alimony thing is kind of touchy.
It is.
In that point, do you think women should, or the relationship being 50-50, women should always have a skill set or a hustle or a trade or
Most
something
do,
they should
though.
be doing? You don't necessarily even got to be leaving the house to work. You got to be doing something.
Most do, because nowadays most black women nowadays the most entrepreneurs we have right now in the United States are black women. They have more skill and trades than a lot of men do.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, why would you want to be with someone and tell them not to work or don't go follow your dreams? Like, I'm not being with anyone who's telling me I don't have to work anymore, or you don't go follow your dreams. You can sit at home. I'm just not. I do too much for that.
Well, this is why, not you, but a lot of men, okay, that were raised a certain way, right? Say like me, I was raised by my grandfather. He was born in 1931. He raised me to where, hey, if your woman worked, she shouldn't work more than you, and you should carry the load. That's how those men were.
Yeah.
So you have traditional men who want traditional women. Okay, I'm the leader. I'm gonna take care of the finances. We have kids. You make sure the kids are fed. You make sure that their clothes are clean. They go to school. I'm gonna put money in your pocket. So when you go somewhere, you have money. You still have traditional men that want their woman not to worry about paying bills and not have to worry, because if she is working and paying bills, right, that's less time she has for the kids. So some men just want you to tend to the children. And some men are financially capable of letting a woman stay home, which is nothing wrong with that if you have an agreement. You're going to take care of home, and I'm going to bust my ass 70, 80 hours a week.
I mean,
so you can be with the kids.
That's just
but there's other things to do at home to make money.
It is.
Exactly.
It is. I'm not saying
my point.
You can't make
money. You always got to be learning.
There's other things at home to make money. I don't think I would want to be in a relationship where the person is fully doing everything. Now, it's like for me, when we had this discussion before, I said, we became 50-50, and further on down the line, my kid's father or whoever I was with did more than me inside of the household. I was still working, but they paid majority of the bills, the rent, and the things that we needed to be done around the house. But I still worked.
Understood. And like I said, it depends on the type of man. A lot of men that are traditional want traditional women. But it just, like this lady, Sierra Williams, said, it just depends on how the two people agree how their house is set up. This is the way I look at it. If I'm a man, okay, I don't want you really taking too many to care of bills. I like to work and take care of stuff. That way, when I come home, I don't have to worry about the kids being fed when they went to school, if they're hungry. So I'll take on more of the workload. Most men will take care of the workload, so that way the woman doesn't have to worry about really the bill aspect. She's more worried about what's going on at home.
Yeah.
Because if I'm working 70 hours a week, I don't have time to come home and worry about home. You see, so we have to work together.
Yeah.
Now they got this thing now with the stay-at-home dads. You know, that's the kind
a nigga ain't staying at home on me. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, Iris, you know
That's
what
about to happen.
Well, it's
I'm
born
too
out of
old.
the other option when people are making certain women are making so much money
Yeah.
that
Nah.
their husband cannot stop. You know, their husband stays home because they're the higher earner. I see it here. I have certain friends who they make
Nah.
more than their husband, and when you
Nah.
start childcare, decide which one's going to stay home. But that's a personal decision between a couple.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
When I look at it as a man,
Mm.
if she make that much money, she can hire a nanny, and you can go get a job, at least pay for the nanny. A man shouldn't be sitting at home with the kids all day.
Mm.
That's not in our nature.
Ain't nobody sitting at home unless he working from home.
Man should not be at home 10, 12 hours a day taking care of no kids.
Mm.
We're not nurturers. We're providers.
I don't think anybody should stay home, but I've seen it happen where it was, you know, people don't want to leave their kids with strangers and they make those decisions.
Right.
You know, make a decision that works for
happens.
people making a certain amount of money. Because when kids are little, some people don't want a stranger at home caring for it.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
Well, that's when you retire your parents and say, "Ma, you don't gotta work no more. Come on to watch these kids."
No, let's be real. You two ladies right here. You two
It's
ladies
for real.
would not marry a man that stay at home because you wouldn't respect them. Let's be real. Those men ain't got
Not me.
Those ain't real men. Let's be honest.
I'm not gonna define what is not a real man. I know for me, I wouldn't be. A woman needs a man who she can look. A woman needs a man that she can look up to. Yeah. So being that I'm a hustler, I in no way can appreciate a man who is not about his business or who I can respect. So you know, that's that ambition. You know, that's that part of life that drives us. So if you don't have that, you're just not attractive.
Exactly.
And I agree. I agree with that.
You respect a man. Those ain't men. You staying at home all day with the kids. And they got on aprons. I'm like, oh man, where they get these men? I don't know if it's real, if it's made up or what.
No, it's real.
It's real? I can't mess with that. That's just
it's a gender role reversal kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm against that. Can we get in that before we start the gender wars? Do y'all mind if I speak on that for a second?
You know what's the interesting concept about that? Thinking back to my childhood, and my dad was older when I was born. He was quite up in age when he was born. So he wasn't, you know, he worked a little bit, but when I think of my childhood, I think about my father messing up my ponytails. And he was the one picking me up from school. And he was the one more present in my life. And he is definitely, if I was going to say one of my parents that was the more nurturing, it would definitely be my father, not my mother. So when we try to push each other in these boxes and into these roles because of our quote unquote nature, my mother still is not a nurturer. It's not in her. She's a great mom. She's one that's going to push you, tell you what you're going to do. But when it comes to somebody that's going to hold you and love you, especially from a father going, and it should be more fathers going to sons, but definitely a daddy and his daughter. Yeah. That nurturing and that reassurance that your daddy gives you I believed I was a princess because my daddy loved me that way.
Exactly. But you know, it's different of a daddy's love to a girl and to his boy. Like I'm not nurturing to my son, but I'm nurturing to my daughters. I'm not about to nurture my son. I'm going to say, man up, I'm going to hit you in your chest. Now, to the girls, it's different. He'll get his nurturing from his mother. He's not supposed to get it from me.
But what if she ain't providing that?
But she is. Well, okay. But I can only nurture him so much.
That's a good point, Iris, because I'm learning with my boys now.
Ahead.
I do got to be more nurturing because I wasn't. I was tough on them. Because
you gotta be.
You gotta be.
You gotta
today's
world, they black.
And the way they are, the way these little boys is now, they kind of getting a little grown. So you kind of got to check them and put them in. But I've been noticing that wasn't working, and I had to be more soft and nurture them and talk to them and hold them and like really get in their ear that way. And that is something they was missing from me, the masculine aspect. That matters too. You're absolutely right. Yeah. They got to see that from as males.
2 things to your point. I have my oldest son is 27, and I was talking to him today, and we were joking back and forth because women on my page, my friends are starting like look at my son and like, ooh, your son look good, you know. And he was like, I said, could you delete everybody who knows me off your page? And he was like, no, mom. And I was like, okay. He was like, after my childhood with you as my mom, with all the things my friends said about you. But anyway, I digress. I say that to say he is my thug of my children.
Yeah.
He was coming up with his mama in New York City with the mom who had him at 18, and we were figuring it out together. And I said to him, I said, when I hear everybody dragging these the millennial dragging their parents, he said, I could never drag my mom because he came up with me. But we were laughing because my older kids now have grown in an environment where I've learned better. So I'm parenting them in a different way. You know, you want to hit them or you want to curse them out or go crazy. I'm learning to say, are you all right? I'm learning to hear their voice. And another thing to my point, when I was a student teacher, I was in a school in Bayside, Queens, a white area. And I noticed like if little Susie had a problem, mommy, I don't like these crayons. I don't like them. I want the other ones, mommy. Mommy, this one hit me and I felt, they are very vocal. Then I went back to the black school and the kids were quiet because they were taught to be respectful, to be silence them. We have got to find the middle ground where we teach our children to advocate for themselves, but also teach them to respect us. And I think that because like I said, it wasn't until I was in that other environment where I understood why does a quote unquote Karen exist? Because I've never been taught that I even have to restrain my voice.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up these comments because you're making some good points. And then we're going to get Antoinette. From Sierra Williams, thank you. I feel like fathers can be more nurturing towards sons because sometimes when fathers aren't, the boys will sometimes have an issue with showing how they really feel on the inside because they assume they aren't allowed to show that side, especially if the mothers are nurturing. Okay, now that's
right.
Good point.
Now, if the mother, like he was saying, if the mother isn't as nurturing, then he has to be like your father was more nurturing.
It's not even about, because sometimes it's not about the mother being nurturing. It's just the simple fact that they are they are of the male species.
Gotcha.
So they need to see another male, especially the one they identify with, be able to have that emotion and learn from it. They really can't learn that from a woman, or they're going to get emotional like a woman. They got to learn how to get emotional like a male and see how a male reacts in any given situations. Not always be tough and gung-ho about things, because we are vulnerable at times, but we just don't show it. But the boys got to see that they can express it in that way too. It ain't always about being tough and fighting back or whatever.
Well, see, the way I was taught with my grandfather, because he was very masculine, but he was very nurturing. So with men like that, the masculine comes first. Then the nurturing comes. They don't nurture you first. You get taught to be a man, be tough. Then you worry about your feelings later. That's how most of men are. And that's how we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to act on emotions first.
That's true.
Because we have
no one should act from emotions first.
We have to provide and protect first. So with men, a lot of times we don't have time to be emotional because we're too busy providing and protecting.
I think a lot of the times, and as you know, this is my area of expertise, a lot of men are broken because they believe that. They absolutely believe that they're supposed to lead with their masculinity. The masculine is there. You don't have to lead with it. It's what you are. It's navigating your emotions in a healthy way that teaches you how to react and not to react. We have to learn to govern our emotions, not feel them. And a lot of times women are labeled with these ideas that women are emotional. No, little girls are taught that it's okay to cry and scream and da-da-da-da. So now you have a situation where you have two adults trying to communicate. However, he's a man, and because he's been taught to think that he cannot have emotion, he cannot now empathize with me or connect with me or understand me because he doesn't know how to tap into it. So he's blinking because I haven't taught him that it's okay to feel. A man, if he can't be vulnerable any place, it definitely should be alongside his woman. But a lot of times men have these bonds to their mothers that's so damn connected that they can't even realize to disconnect, to learn how to connect into the woman that they're supposed to have that space in when they can't have it any other place.
Well, that's the only problem with that. As a man, and I tell men this, you always can be vulnerable with your mother because that's who brought you into this world. That's one woman I trust. With my vulnerability, I go to my mother because at the end of the day, who got my back is my mom. Now,
That's
I don't. If you're gonna be vulnerable to a woman, you have to make sure, for one, you can be vulnerable with her. You can't be vulnerable with every woman you're with. You can't, because different people are not going to accept your vulnerability. And if I'm vulnerable at this time and I'm being open with you, right? You have to earn that. As a man, most men are not going to be vulnerable with women. We are going to be vulnerable with our mothers because that's who we trust. That's who we came from. But once you trust this certain woman, you should be vulnerable to that woman. And that's another thing I always say to women. Every man is not going to be vulnerable to you. He has to trust he can do that with you. And I tell men, do not be vulnerable with every woman you meet. That's the wrong thing to do, because some women will use your vulnerability against you. You can't be, as a man, you can't be vulnerable with most women.
And I push back, as a woman, you can't be vulnerable.
Well, it's
You know
different.
something? Let me tell you something that you learn as a woman. And I don't know if Antoinette has experienced this. When you get a man that makes you feel safe, ooh, child, it's not common. I'm talking about safe. I'm talking about where my heart and my soul can rest.
Exactly.
A man who I ain't worried about his phone. A man who we have how our relationship works. A man who can correct me and respect me, and a man who can listen to me and value what I have to say, or if I have a reprimand or an issue. We don't have that. We have these things that these roles and these places that we want to behave that are not rooted in any truth about how to truly have a long-lasting connection.
The thing is, everything you said, I agree with, but he has to earn that. And
Exactly. That's why I said a woman that we I don't know. I've very recently felt safe. Very, very recently have I found safety.
It's the thing. It's the same way with men can't.
Antoinette, you found safety?
Women can't be vulnerable.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest. Now, I believe that I have, and the person is still around, but I think that person feel like I'm not ready right now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be all the way honest. I think I found my soulmate. I'm gonna be all the way honest. But I just think that he feels like I'm not ready right now.
Do you feel like you ready?
No, with me working and going to school and trying to get my life together. No. And I just want to give that person my all.
Well, this the thing. If he feels like you're not ready, he's being honest with you. You being an entrepreneur and a business owner, you need to put people in place to run your businesses that you can trust. Because that type of man is the man you need to be with if he's being honest and upfront. A lot of men will lie to you and bring you in a relationship to get what they want and be selfish. But that man is being 100% honest with you right now, telling you to your face you're not ready. That is a real man, and that is somebody that you need to go get right now for another woman. Go get like that.
He's around, but I'm getting all, everything in a row. Like, and honestly, and this was like a year ago, I met this person and I just knew, like, honestly, I just knew.
Yeah, but that's somebody you give a chance to because he's serious.
Right.
That's a man that's going to provide, protect, make sure you good to go. And there are a lot of men out here, especially black, like that. And I got to say this because I'm on TikTok. Iris know I'll be on TikTok all the time. Iris know me. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of y'all women, y'all need to step off Iris because Iris just be keeping it real. I'm going to be honest because I feel bad for Iris sometimes. She just be speaking the truth and women be going at her neck like they know her personally. All she does is say, you know what? I didn't know until I had sons that we don't hear men's emotions a lot of time. She didn't understand that until she had sons. You know what? Well, maybe I should listen to him. He does have emotions. He's human like I'm human, right? And just saying things like that, a lot of women try to bash Iris about, and you got to realize, men, even though we're toxic and masculine or whatever you want to call it, we're human just like y'all human, right? And men have feelings too. and to be more open. And you get bad.
It's hard. It's such a hard thing for men because when they show emotion, then it's you're somehow less than a man.
Exactly.
So it's this double-edged sword that you're trying to balance. And it's like, well, what do you want? You know, well, as a woman, what do you really want? Because if I give you this vulnerability, you cannot weaponize it against me.
Exactly.
You can't take what I just gave you in safety and weaponize it against me. Exactly. And so a lot of men, especially when they experience those kind of betrayals, or they tell a woman something that they're insecure about or they're struggling with, and then she throws it up in his face to emasculate him. It's very, very damaging, and we don't want to talk about it.
That's why I said men have to be careful. That's why most men aren't vulnerable. When they are vulnerable, they don't tell their women because we can't trust that with everybody. That's the.
And we also teach men that you're allowed to be angry and violent. That's it.
No, I won't say that. We're allowed.
Let me tell you something. If a little boy looked at media, he would think that it's okay to be angry and it's okay to be violent. That it is way more acceptable for them to take the baseball bat and throw it around than to cry on the ground. To show anger and show aggression is way more programmed into men. So a lot of men just can't tap into it easily. And as women, we have to understand that.
For men, we're taught to get the emotional out of us, so we think clearly. When you're all emotional and going crazy, as men, we're taught to get that shit out your system so you can think straight and you can think with intellect and not your emotions. We got to get that out of our system. So if we are mad right now, I might need to punch the table or go outside and throw a rock. I need to get that shit out my system.
That is completely being out of control, though. So if I'm going to try to, as a parent, if I'm raising my son that it's okay to punch a wall when you get mad, right, instead of teaching him how that it is okay to articulate how you feel and learn how to state how you feel. So right now, if my son gets angry, my little one, and he's having a tantrum, stop reacting. Stop reacting and let's process. What is going on with you?
As a boy, yes.
Tell me what you are doing. See, this is why boys can easily pick up a gun and shoot somebody, or easily be reactive, or easily fight, or easily do that stuff, and not take the time to emotionally process what they're feeling. So you get behaviors instead of things, because you don't have to get rid of your emotions. The emotions don't have to go. What you have to do is understand what you feel so you can manage that emotion.
As a boy, yes. As a man, no. Because as a man, we don't have time to be emotional. As a man, you need to get that shit out your system so you can go provide, protect, and take care of your business. As a man, you don't have time to be emotional.
Like, we hear you, James, but the point is how you expressing that emotion. You don't got to punch a hole in the wall.
I didn't say that. But you got to get it out your system.
Go do some push-ups.
As a man, you got to get. As a man, we can't hold on to emotions. We got to get that shit out of our system. So
it doesn't get out of your system. It manifests in your system, and you end up having heart attacks. You end up having strokes. You end up dying because you're holding it in. It's not supposed to be in. It's okay to let it out. And guess what? You'll be even better to move into healing and where you need to go, because you can better process and be in a better space. When you're emotionally good, your mind is sharper. I couldn't see the comment, but when you are in a good emotional space, it's sharper.
That's a good point, because the comment, you're absolutely right. Like, when it was another comment, he was talking about your vibration. Mm-hmm. When you thinking in that low state of vibration, you can't even heal. Like, so you're not gonna heal just holding that stuff in. So you gotta let it out. You do gotta get it out.
As a man, you gotta get it out your system.
In a positive manner, though. Just punching a hole through a wall ain't.
I didn't say punch a hole. I'm just saying you got to get it out. No matter how you get it out, you got to go to the gym. If you got to do push-ups, I don't know. Everybody's different. Me, I'm mad. I do music. Everybody's different. But as a man, you got to get your emotions out your system. Men don't have time to be emotional. We ain't got time for all that. You got to get that shit out your system and get back to taking care of business. For women, it's different. Y'all can be emotional all month. Men, we can't. We don't have time.
Why do men believe that? If I'm emotional, well, first of all, let me say something. I think the women's emotional aptitude is an amazing thing, because I know when I had been betrayed in my marriage and I had to function through that hurt.
Yeah.
Had I broke down, I don't know why, but to function through the hurt that I experienced and have to raise those babies and move through that hurt, my emotional intelligence has to be strong.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of men will emotionally destroy a woman that even has their children and never think twice about how that impacts their children when you're trying to muster up the strength through your hurt and your betrayal to exist.
Well, that's
Now, when we talk about this idea of women being overly emotional, we're not. Because if a women were overly emotional, we would be snapping, killing men, acting crazy, doing all kinds of stuff. I've seen a woman here get emotional. She ran that man over multiple times. That's what emotion gets you.
That's why they make that show Snap. Some of them do go crazy.
As do men. And who's snapping more? Who's killing more? Men or who's killing more? More women killing men than men killing women?
I don't know right now.
Way more men kill women, especially in crimes of passion.
Well, we taught to express, like y'all was debating earlier, not debating, but going back and forth, like our emotions in a physical way and more negative. So with women being allowed to kind of be more vulnerable in a public setting, it is hard for us to get it out in certain avenues. So we do kind of got to do our expressing in the dark per se without public support. It's just weird. We can't be vulnerable.
If a man expresses himself and say how he feel, then he's called toxic. Men aren't even allowed, especially black men. If a man is upset about, we can't even express ourselves without being labeled.
To be fair, a lot of men don't know how to express themselves, so they do come across crazy when they do decide.
Because it's built up.
I was just about to say, good
point. And I was going to say, a man being toxic. A man being toxic has absolutely nothing to do with his ability to express his emotion or not speak. A man being toxic means he sets a certain level of traits, usually rooted in some type of hurt that causes him to mistreat women and be dishonest. Because out here nowadays, there's no reason to be lying or broken, because you just tell people straight up. They either going to get on board or they not. They're in. But a lot of us are not practicing any kind of discipline in our behavior. People just do whatever they want to do. And then tell the other person you're toxic, or the guy is saying she's toxic. Everybody's toxic, and everybody's toxic. Nobody's at fault.
I agree.
No accountability.
So why do people say why do people label the other person as toxic instead of saying, okay, they're just expressing how they actually feel? Why do we keep doing that, especially with the media saying this person is toxic, when they're just expressing how they feel when it's been built up?
It's a trend, and it's easy just to get social immediate gratification, and just
some people are toxic.
They pissing me off. Let me go scroll online and get somebody else attention. Let me get some attention and energy from somebody else. I ain't gonna work it out with this person in real life, in real time. That's right here with me in this situation, in this environment. It's just too easy to get satisfaction elsewhere. So you don't address the issues in front of you.
You didn't lie at all, because it's like, if I'm not posting about my man.
Right.
I'm not posting anything we got going. I always find it weird when people talk to their significant other on social media. Like, are you not seeing that person? Do they not have a text message, a phone? Who is this show for? Because at the end of the day, if we got something going on, it's gonna be me and you. And when I marry, circle me and you in the middle of that. Nothing else comes before this. Nothing. So if we got something going on, we need to fix what we got going on, because it's us. And when we understand that how you impact me, I impact you, that's the only way you're gonna survive it out here in a marriage.
Let me ask you this, Iris, because I know you see it a lot since me and you be on TikTok. When we see these people, expressing and saying what's going on in their relationship with the public on social media, and they haven't even talked to their significant other person. We see this every day. Why is such a high percentage of disrespect to the person they're with?
Well, social media has created an interesting dynamic where everybody can be famous, where everybody can be known, even if it's just for a second. So therefore, you have people who will do anything to seek that attention.
Gotcha.
One of the best things that we all know is drama is going to always sell. Anything bad happens, it's going to move. Yeah. And so people get on there and they do stuff to try to either embarrass somebody or do something, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Because if you truly want to fix it or have a conversation with someone, social media is definitely not the place to start that conversation.
And you know what?
Go ahead. I was just about to say, humans have always leaned to the court of public opinion too, to kind of get their point across. So it's always been there, but now it's just so grandiose and immediate because we got social media. So people gonna just run to the court of public opinion too when they arguing with somebody or they can't get their point across with somebody directly. Know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's gonna be there. It's just at a grander scale now.
And I also got to add this in because the biggest thing I see, right, when we're talking about relationships, it's another thing I have to add on. I know I'm adding on more stuff, but the show's so good. People keep blaming social media, right, for the issues they're having in their relationships. And I always say that's wrong. This is why. Social media doesn't force you to post anything on there that you don't want to post, right? People blame social media for the relationship not working because of cheating. People blame social media why the other person isn't getting as much attention because you're on social media. Social media doesn't force you to get on social media. And I think a lot of people point the finger at social media when they're the ones actually going on social media and doing all this shit. And they're blaming social media for their relationships not working as an scapegoat when they don't want the shit to work.
It's that too, and it's just people.
I don't blame social media.
They want to expose stuff, and that's the easiest way to expose stuff. That's human nature to want to expose something.
But take accountability.
Some type of way.
Take accountability and say, you know what? I wanted to go on there. I wanted to say how bad you are as a boyfriend or girlfriend. I wanted to go on there and look at something else. Take accountability for yourself. That's what me and Iris was talking about the other day, accountability. Why do we got to, in the Black community, why do we got to keep blaming everything and everybody else except for ourselves when we're causing the drama and the toxicity? Why? Why do we got to blame everybody else? Why can't we just say, I did that because I wanted to do that? Why can't we just say that? And stop blaming?
I think everybody puts everything into these little neat boxes. And because of that, everyone wants to not be in the box. So you're pointing at the person next to you saying, no, not me, that person. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's interesting because no matter what happens, when you really realize no matter which side of it you try to stand on, you're actually part of the problem, right? So even if you say, okay, I'm not going to be the one who I'm gonna hold myself accountable, right? Even in trying to take accountability, am I truly accepting what am I truly saying what I need to say to my partner, or am I trying to just win them back? Yeah. Baby, I changed. I won't do it again. I'm wrong. You back? Okay, back to the same behavior over and over and over again. You know, am I truly being accountable to the point where I really understand what I did and what I need to do to fix that behavior and not just continue engaging in the same mistakes over and over and over again?
See, that's self-accountability. So what they're doing is they're doing reverse psychology, saying, you know what? I made a mistake. I'm going to change this just to win that person over. But when your partner truly holds you accountable, you have to accept it if you made a mistake. And I think that's the problem, especially in our community, Black community, when men hold women accountable and women hold men accountable. They don't want to accept it when it's coming from the other person when they know they made a mistake.
Can I say something?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
For one, when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't get into a relationship with someone that you can't trust. That's period.
Gotcha.
So I was just was in a relationship 3 years ago with my fiance. We were both on social media. He followed me and I followed him. Yes. I didn't care to follow him because I just feel like I'm a model. Men are going to say stuff on my page. Men are going to like my page. Right. Men are going to say comments, regardless if I'm in a relationship, and they see it on my Facebook page. So my fiance will get on there and he will get mad and say something. But before you met me, I was already a model. I already had a fan base. Now, if somebody is being disrespectful, I'll check it. But if my fiance goes and likes someone else's page and hurts someone else, I'm not going to get mad at that.
Okay.
We have an understanding on our relationship.
Got you.
So social media can't break up my relationship because I have things on my page too. And when we go out, it's gonna be somebody, hey Antoinette B. I'm from Akron, but I can go to Cleveland and I have a whole fan base. And I'm just not lying. Anybody who go out with me, anybody who know that, no 20 Shades, no Antoinette. No, Antoinette is a lingerie model. People could come up, but I'll check a person. Hey, I'm with my man. This is my man. This is such and such from Facebook. Why are you being with anyone that you can't trust? Social media can never break up my relationship because we know what each other have. And I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in checking phones. I don't believe in that. I believe in respecting my man's space. My man respect my space. We're going to respect that we're doing each other right until something comes out and we see that we're not doing each other right. Like, I see you cheating. I have proof that you cheated. You liking something on Facebook is not saying that you cheated. I'm human and you're human. You know what I'm saying? You may like such and such. You may say, damn, babe, celebrity, old girl, something. I'm not going to be mad at you because I might see something to catch my eyes. I'm human.
Right.
But I'm going to be respectful. And, I'm not going to be hearting the same man's thing over and over, letting my man see it and you said something about it. If you said something about it and it's bothering you, okay, babe, I won't like his, I won't heart his picture anymore. I can respect that. But if you're not going to talk about it and you just want to assume because I'm partner smiley facing somebody that is something going on, then something's wrong with you because I'm in this business. And I have fans. And I have to thank everybody and like things and thank you, whatever. If you can't understand that, then you're not the person for me.
For you, that's specific in general, but I think James wanted to bring up the point. It asked you, is that cheating though for the everyday average person that don't got multiple businesses and they don't got to entertain per se when they get on social media, wandering guys and they're liking stuff? Is that cheating? Because social media not real, but it can affect your real life though.
Yeah.
So.
Only if you let it. Only if you let it. Like, I'm a business person, and I tell my man straight up, anybody that I get with, hey, I'm a plus size model. It may be people that may approach us. It may be people that like my pictures. I'm letting you know if you follow me. You can choose not to follow me, but I'm letting you know what's going on my page before we even get to the next level. Because I need somebody strong on my side that can understand me.
Exactly. They need to understand.
So I don't believe that it's cheating because your dude is liking somebody else's picture. Because I know that I'm giving my all to my man. I know that I'm satisfying him. I know, we doing dates. I know I'm keeping it sexy and cool and all that. So him hurting somebody that he may never even see in life,
right?
I'm not mad at that.
That's what I was
about. I know what I'm getting.
I was about to say that because look, I think a lot of times relationships where men are liking women's pictures and comment. A lot of these men will never meet. A lot of women are influencers on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Most of us would meet these women. So a lot of times I think it gets misconstrued. If you like a comment, and half the time they don't comment back, they got 20 million followers, they're not going to. You know what I'm saying? So it to me, cheating is physical. I don't give it. To me, that's cheating. Cheating is physical. If you're messing around, that's cheating.
Cheating constitutes to what we decide is cheating.
Cheating.
If you have a relationship and you because there's certain things that will lead you down the path.
Okay.
So there's certain things in certain spaces that when you're in a relationship, you need to sound what those boundaries are. If in our relationship we decide that we are not liking other people's pictures on Instagram, which is stupid, but if that's what they decide, then we both got to honor that. If we decide that we are not going to be having conversations with people of the opposite sex in ways, and we letting everybody know, listen, I got a person, because if I find it disrespectful and you find it disrespectful, then we both know that we should not do it. So we have to decide, because what's cheating to one person, because I'm gonna tell you that emotional cheating will get you out the door way faster than people will. That's how you break up. Some skin ain't gonna do it as fast as someone connecting with someone else.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. For men, we think totally different. Cheating is fucking. I'm just be honest. Completely.
That's not true. That's not true. I've seen too many men get mad about another man texting another woman.
As long as you ain't, I don't give a damn. You can write a whole book with this nigga on Facebook. I don't give a damn. As long as you ain't fucking him, I don't give a damn. That's how men think.
That's not true.
That's how men think.
Well, you shouldn't think like that, because you losing your girl.
How?
That is not true.
In the arms in another man. Because I'm gonna tell you something.
Thank you.
That's why I'm not in a relationship, because I do small things like I text multiple people throughout the day. I know when I get in a relationship, all that good morning, beautiful, and all that is going to have to stop. I'm going to have to stop that, because I can't go in a relationship talking to 5 to 10 people telling them good morning. I know when I'm in that relationship that's going to have to stop. I'm not going to be able to do all that. Right now, I'm single and I'm able to do what I want to do. I'm not going to be talking to someone that I feel like likes me sexually, likes me romantically, period. I'm not talking to them when I'm in a relationship, because that's opening up doors, and that's also letting that man know that he can disrespect my man.
And that's the thing. I hear what he's saying, but I know that's absolutely not true. I know too many of my. If a man catch anything, he going off just like I don't care if your phone. Why somebody calling your phone right now?
That's for sure.
Why is somebody calling your phone? You acting a fool.
That's for sure. That's bullshit. Ask any real man to tell you. If you ain't fucking, I don't give a damn what they lying to y'all. Any man will tell you that if they ain't fucking, it ain't cheating.
I don't know what men you talk. I don't know. You cannot, like, I cannot speak for all women. You cannot speak for all men, because I done seen too many men tear the house down over a text message. A dude texting the phone.
Hey, I'm just
a dude texting the phone, and he about to tear the whole house apart.
I'm not saying on your end, okay?
I'm not talking about my end. I'm talking about the vast majority of men. I'm talking about my son. If my son's girlfriend had a dude texting her, he'd be like, "Go to him. Go to him."
That's what I'm saying.
Put your shoes on and go.
We're talking about social media. We can't stop what another man might just want to. Oh, you know what? This is.
You said a man does not think it's cheating.
It's not, because this is the thing, especially with social media. How many people on social media? If you have a social media page and some man randomly say, "Hey, good morning, beautiful. How are you?" You can't get mad every time somebody does that shit.
Your woman should cut that off. What?
Exactly.
I'm saying
your woman should correct that. Hey, you either block that person or send them a text
every time.
What I look like with my man, and I got other men sending me messages, and he see that, because he better not be texting. He better not be sending out good morning text to somebody else.
If you're not blocking them, you're condoning it. You know the expression is, if you stop giving the clown attention, he'll.
And that's our point.
That's on you.
Yes.
James, like,
that's the whole point.
It ain't cheap. I'm going my black ass to bed. I gotta get
that's engaging.
James ain't.
You're leading that person on. You're giving them hope.
Real men don't give a fuck.
They don't. James is right in a sense, because his point is strictly, he's talking about the social media attention. I think y'all more so meaning more personal text messaging, which is kind of crossing the line. But on the social media aspect, y'all do get way more attention than men in general. So we got to just deal with that. So
you're right.
In that sense, that's what James is trying to convey to y'all. Like, it's like, we don't get emotionally aroused by that. Right. Let some couple females comment on my pictures. My girl coming to say, she gonna be like, who is that girl? Who is this girl?
Right.
She gonna ask me a couple questions. I don't do that when I see men commenting on her. I don't care. I really don't care. That and James,
because they're gonna do it.
I think we were responding to the comment about if it's not intercourse or that it's not cheating. That's what we're talking about. Everybody knows.
Men don't look at women. Y'all look at cheating different than men. Men, if you're not having sex, we don't look at it as cheating. Ask any real man, they will tell you the same thing. We don't care.
I'm gonna ask this question every time I interview my man on my podcast. I'm gonna ask that question to prove you wrong. Let me put it on my list.
When we're
Because I guarantee you, most men would disagree. A man texting that woman or her sneaking off having meals with another dude, that's cheating.
Sneaking off to do. If she's sneaking off to do stuff, she's sneaking off.
Texting James is cheating to you.
Texting ain't cheating unless
it is.
Now when y'all start messing around, that's cheating. Because I don't know one woman. I don't know one right now that's texting one guy and only talking to one guy in a relationship.
You might text the person, but there's no man I text daily.
It ain't cheating. It ain't cheating.
I
got married friends that pillow talk with me.
What is the context of the text?
What you pillow talking with me?
If they ain't fucking, it ain't cheating.
You're right. Good point.
Simple point.
Iris, what is the context of the conversation they have? That matters.
I know more than their husbands know. I know everything. They side niggas and everything. It ain't cheating. But if I'm fucking them, that's cheating. That's different. That's how men look at it. Men look at cheating different than women. Men really don't care because men know y'all are texting and talking to them.
I'm gonna be fair.
Men
James,
know
I
women.
gotta cut you off, James.
Y'all are beautiful women. You guys are gonna be approached and bothered by men, and there's nothing we can do about that.
James thinking like a hound right now. How a hound would think. He think he's not cheating because he keeping his options open on his end for her, like being that shoulder to lean on and giving him advice. So when something fall apart or she feeling vulnerable, you could swoop in and then do your thing type. Like that's why you're leading them on and talking to them. So in a sense, that's still cheating,
nobody
James.
Basically, you're trying to pick up vulnerable women, and you.
If it ain't sex, it ain't cheating. Because you cannot stop your woman from replying to men. You cannot stop her from men telling her she's beautiful, wanting to take her out and texting her on social media. There's nothing we can do to stop that. So why get mad? As long as she ain't physically getting naked and having because with men it's different. When a woman has sex with another man, that man has conquered her. That's why cheating is different for men and women.
No, it's not, because let me tell you something. If you get in your woman's phone and you're looking at a string of text messages and it is moral failure, where she is telling another man she loves him, where she's telling another man she misses, that is absolutely cheating, period. And it will hurt a man. I have yet to see.
Listen, if we get in a woman's phone and she tell her, oh, I love him, we don't care. If she ain't fucking him, men really don't care.
Come on.
We don't care.
If your woman is in the phone.
Time out.
Let's be honest.
Time out. So what does we don't care mean? Are you going to react? Are you going to let her continue that conversation with that? What you going to do?
What am I going to do?
If you don't care?
This is the thing I'm going to do. For one, I'm smart enough not to go on these women's phones because I know better.
Good point.
I know in there something I don't want to see.
But say you are to find something out. What are you going to do since you don't care?
I'm not going to do a damn thing.
Because you're doing it. Because you're that guy that's texting all the women and doing all that stuff on the side.
You always need a reaction.
So you're gonna be
sometimes you can sit back and think things out and be quiet and pay attention to her patterns and behavior. And her pattern and behavior change, then you know she's messing around. You don't always have to react. See, I'm smart. I sit back and watch a lot of things and I keep my mouth shut. You don't always have to get loud.
So you ain't gonna be trying to set yourself up.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
I'm saying you ain't gonna entertain the thought of maybe talking to another female.
Of course I am, but she ain't gonna know what
that's
thing. She gonna think I'm fake.
That's why. That's why you feel like that.
Because the thing is, if you lying to my face and telling me you're faithful, and then I find something else, why do I need to give you some respect if you're already disrespecting me? Why? Why do I gotta respect you if you already disrespecting me? See, that's the problem. Y'all
Well, this is my thing.
respected.
Right now, today,
I ain't dealing
if
with
I get with anybody,
that.
I'm looking to get with that person and not cheat on that person. I don't want to entertain no one else but that one person. And that's it.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's why I said earlier.
I want to give that one person my 100%.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's why I said earlier, you have to be unselfish and open-minded. Too many people are selfish and still they leaving the door open for other people. That's why I said a lot of these relationships on social media. So all social media relationships are fake. The only time I know a relationship is real when when they're happy and they're mad. That's when I know a relationship is real. If they're just showing we're happy all the time, you know the shit is fake. It's fake. But if people show them both when they're happy and they're mad, that's okay. Well, that's a real relationship then. That's how I know the difference between
Maybe some
real
people are in good relationships, James. You don't know everybody.
All that shit is fake online.
It is all fake.
That shit
online.
Fake.
But at the end of the day, you can't generalize everybody's relationship. This love is different. There ain't one way to love. There ain't necessarily one way to cheat. Everybody gonna react differently. It's all about how you set the standard.
Well, I'm telling you how men think
in the early stages of the relationship. Just don't get in so far deep and then figuring out people's traits and how they react to situations.
Because I know what women.
That's where we go wrong so much, because you're going to say how men think. No, that's how you think as a man. And I have my ways of what I think as a woman. Antoinette has certain things like, because of her line of work that would differ from my views on what as a man's woman is acceptable for me to post online. However, a man dealing with Antoinette's going to know what he walked into. She was already doing this. And so if you're coming into my life, you have to accept this. Each relationship is very, very different. And we have to stop trying to be everything for everybody and say, this is what I do and the people around me, not necessarily everybody. That's why this rhetoric continues, because we want to have these polarizing things that men do this and women do that, when it's really about nuance, and how you might do it might not be how I might do it.
Yeah, I'm just telling you how it is for men. Most men will tell you what I'm telling. Now, women, I understand y'all have your definition. Most men I know would tell you the same thing I'm telling you, but it's different for women. Women look at cheating different than men. Most men will tell you, as long as they ain't messing with them, it ain't cheating. That's how.
And most men, and that's all I do is interview men. I grew up on a block of men, and none of them would say what you're saying.
They lying.
You know, they're not lying. I've watched them be vulnerable in these moments. I've watched them be betrayed. I've watched how men have reacted.
They're lying.
What?
They lying.
They're not lying. Men are quite. You have men who will get mad at their woman if another man speaks to her in the club and he wasn't there, and will be mad and tell her she was out of line. There are a lot of things, because at the end of the day, where you're using the word cheating, I'm using the word respect. As a woman and as a man, we are to respect our relationship. And once we are out of the bounds of respecting that relationship, we are in a line that we are at least cheating our relationship out of the possibility to be successful. I am not doing anything to my man that is going to be can be even remotely misconstrued as me being interested in another man. I'm not texting. I'm not doing anything, because I know that in those cases when he questions me, he's not worth a text with another. Losing him is not worth the lie. It's not worth it. And so therefore, I'm going to govern myself at all times in a way that lets him know that he is absolutely the priority in my heart. My man would never have to question that.
I got a question though. Mm-hmm. If you got a man at home and he's insecure, and you know he's insecure, why would you go home and tell him another man came to me and said hi to me, knowing he's insecure? Why would you even tell him that, knowing that if you're an attractable woman, men are going to come up to you and approach you? Why?
I don't even think we're talking about in the context of a woman. You could be walking down the street with your man and another man say hi to you. I've seen men lose it for that, get very upset. How you know him, it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman telling you. You just experiencing life and can run into all kinds of situations that might evoke a jealous feeling or insecure feeling.
I think, to be honest, I'm gonna tell him too when he come back. James done built up. I see a lot of men are this way though too. They build up a defense mechanism because they have been hurt so many times that's how they react when they in those type of situations. They try to play numb or indifferent, like they don't care. Deep down, nigga, you know you care. And you know you're gonna react. You may not react immediately, you may not get volatile, you may move smart, like James said, which is you play it by ear and you kind of convey this what's going on, and then you do your little dirt, and then that's how you get over it. And so maybe you might not react immediately, but nigga, you gonna react.
But also it depends on if most women, y'all know y'all men, right? You know what to say, how to say it, when to say it. If you have an insecure man and you go out to a bar with your friends or you go out to dinner, you know you shouldn't go home and actually tell him some man tried to talk to me and he complimented me. Keep that to yourself. Now, if you got a man at home that's not insecure and comfortable with himself, then you can tell him. So y'all know which man you need to say what and to who. Y'all went at home, told the insecure guy, this guy tried, knowing he gonna act a fool and he's insecure already. And y'all be doing that to yourselves.
But let me tell you, for me, I'm not going to date somebody that's insecure. Exactly. Because I need somebody that is going to be secure and going to be able to be on my own with the type of work that I do. So I'm not going to be with anybody that's insecure.
Understood. We got to do a part 3. Because Iris, you be getting this show hot. And we're going to get Cyan the Man on the next one. I'm looking at all the comments. But listen, we done talked about black love. We done talked about relationships. We done talked about the gender wars. And we definitely going to do a part 2. We're going to get the rest of the cast and Cyan the Madman. We're going to get out of here. And Iris, tell them where they can find you at. For the people that's just tuning in, where can they find you at?
Hi, everybody. You can find me at According to Iris on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
That's right. You know, I'm going to take a little bit of this video and I'm going to chop it up tonight. You know what's going to happen on TikTok when I chop it up? Like all the other ones we did this week, they going at it in the comments. They going at it.
That's my opinion. What do I know?
Yeah. But you know what? We're going to have you back on the show probably here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to get the rest of the cast. And you guys also, y'all check out Antoinette Barkley. Antoinette, tell them where they can find all your businesses on social media. So
you can find Antoinette Barkley on Facebook. Antoinette B is my modeling page on Facebook. Antoinette Senior Care, LLC is my business page on Facebook. Antoinette Soul Food Catering and Service, you can find that on Facebook. And then also my Instagram is Miss Barkley 35 on Instagram.
We appreciate you. Make sure you check out Chef Darius right here. Chef Darius Soul Food. He just won the chili cook-off. He's chefing it up. Make sure y'all follow him. Tell him where can they follow you at on social media.
You can follow me on TikTok at the Hit Show Podcast and also my page, Chef Darius Soul Food _Soul Foods. Darius Jackson on Facebook. I'm out here. I got some more competitions coming up, so be on the lookout.
And make sure y'all follow us at the Hit Show Podcast. We on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Not only do me and Darius do the podcast, we also got skits online. You know, we do comedy skits. Me and him write comedy skits also. So if y'all do comedy skits, me and him also write. He's also a music producer, I DJ, and he's also a songwriter. So if y'all need any of them services, y'all make sure y'all hit us up. All right. And ladies, you know I'm retired, but I'm thinking about coming back. There's no my background. You know, I used to be a male gigolo. All right. The Cash App is smash on 85 for all the ladies. I'm just playing. But we about to get out here. Thank you. These ladies did such an excellent job, didn't they? They did a beautiful job, both of them.
Bye, Antoinette. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming on.
Bye-bye.
Bye.